Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the Milan-Atalanta match review. Match that finished moments ago at the San Siro. 0-0 was the final scoreline, and what a crazy game it was, especially in that second half, where chances were coming on and off for Milan. So many chances, so many opportunities to score a goal today. But unfortunately, we once again had to settle for a draw. Disappointing result due to the fact that we actually had an amount of chances in which we could have definitely scored goals today, with post being it, unlucky circumstances. I think, we definitely deserved a bit more than a tie today. I think we should have definitely got the win. But Atalanta in the first half seemed like the more threatening of the two teams. I think they had a very good deal of possession. Milan, unfortunately, was giving the ball away many times, in which just resulted in numerous counterattacks from Atalanta. In which, honestly, I was kind of scared with all these counterattacks, because they do have players in the midfield and up front that could definitely pose a lot of threats against any team, and they did pose these threats. At the end of that first half, Donnarumma had to come out big with a huge save off the line, and unfortunately, Antonelli just a few seconds later hit the post on a great solo run from him. So, as I said, Atalanta was the more threatening of the two teams in that first half. Definitely, I saw a lot going there from them, and I feared at times that they were going to score. But in the second half, I have to say that most of the play was coming from Milan. Milan was definitely dictating the game the way that they wanted to play. They finally started to create chances with Bonaventura, Suso, even Kushka was getting past certain players at times in order to attempt a shot. And overall, there was a much better fluidity between the midfield and the attack than what we had seen in that first half. I'm happy that we finally started to play well and we finally started to generate chances. However, we just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net today. I think it was just one of those games that nothing was going right for us, including the referee, which I'll be talking a bit about later. Don't want to get a bit of a heated discussion about him again, but if you guys watch the live stream watch along throughout the match, you know exactly how I felt about the referee there. But besides that, definitely not the result that we wanted. I think a lot of players are disappointed about this. Jack Bonaventura, for example, says that Milan put in a good performance with Atalanta. And everyone knows that, Milan did well today, especially certain players. It wasn't just our day today. I don't know. We couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. Hopefully, we'll see better things. I mean, this was the last match of the 2016 in terms of Serie A. Next week, of course, we have the game against Juventus. But one thing that I have to note is that definitely our defense is getting a lot better. Against Roma, we played a very good game in defense. We only let Roma score one goal, and they were one of the best attacks in the Serie A. And unfortunately, that goal came in like that. But today, I saw a lot of personality from various components of the defense. Paletta and Romagnoli once again proving their great partnership together, being very strong. The great mixture of youth and experience put together between those two. Abate and Antonelli did very good as well. Abate once again is kind of resurging from the performances that he was putting at the beginning of the season or last year, for example, where he just wasn't being himself. In the recent games, I finally see some traits from Abate that kind of resemble the player that he really is. I don't know if it is the captaincy role that's giving him this extra effect, but he's definitely playing better. Antonelli as well, was his first game back from injury, and he took that great shot that, unfortunately for him, was hit on the post. But overall, the defense did well. The shield came on there in the second half for Antonelli. He didn't really have much of an impact in the team, however. Now, speaking about the midfield, I find that Bertolacci was playing in that center mid today. He didn't have the best of games, that's for sure. I think he was capable of doing better, especially in terms of defending. Creativity-wise, wasn't the best. Pasalic, I find he was a bit off his game as well today. Could have been a bit better. I'm not quite sure what I feel about those two today, but I think that with time they will get better. I mean, each player has their games in which they cannot always fully perform as to what they want. But you know, Bertolacci needed to do better in that middle. Pasalic, I was expecting a bit more from him as well. Kuchka, once again, amazing as usual in that midfield. The only player that you could actually see in the sunlight, even though there was fog at the San Siro today. What I'm trying to say is that he was the only player that you could actually see playing in his role today, because I don't think Bertolacci really played his role well. Pasalic as well. Up front, we saw Lapadula, Suso, and Bonaventura today. I think Lapadula and Suso really had a lot of problems for some reason today. I don't know what it was. Lapadula, for certain reasons, he wasn't capable of controlling passes the way that he wanted to. Suso wasn't as influential as he usually is. A lot of bad deliveries, especially on set pieces, on free kicks from Suso. Not the types of deliveries that you're expecting to see from him. Today, I think he got most of those shots wrong. Bonaventura, just so happy that he's back. Once again, proven to be that he's a leader in this team and that the team really needs him at all, in all sorts of ways. You know, during the week, there was the announcement of his possible contract renewal. It's still not official. However, it's more than likely that it will happen. But you can just tell what kind of an important player Bonaventura really is for this team. In terms of substitutions, Baka came on with about 5 minutes left, or 10 minutes left. Niang came on as well. Baka did show certain things. I mean, it's not like he was influential in that little time that he played, but he did have a nice run and he did have a good opportunity to score. Niang, there was one instance that I really like what Niang did, was when he tracked back to defend against an Atalanta counterattack and he won the ball nice and clean there. But then, once again, we saw his individual traits when he was trying to get past 2 or 3 players at the same time, and all that ended up in was him falling down and the referee not awarding him anything. But those were my little bit of analysis on the players there, and how I thought they played today. I want to know what you guys thought about the team in general today, the players. What did you think about the match in general? I'm going to be reading your comments for the next minutes, and hopefully we'll get a nice conversation going here. Now, Aniket says, expected this kind of result with the kind of setup Atalanta had with 5 defenders. Milan didn't have enough creativity to break them. Well, the formation that they were playing with was a 3-4-1-2, which usually tends to be a bit more attacking there since they are playing with a 3. But what they do is that with the midfield, they always track back. And like you said, Aniket, it seems to be that certain times Atalanta's defense is actually composed of 4 to 5 men. Now, Atalanta's game plan today was actually pretty evident. They were trying to stop every attack, every chance that Milan had by fouling them. They made a lot of fouls early on where the referee didn't book them whatsoever, and I was actually getting frustrated there on the watch along. Then later on, you know, the cards had to come out at some point. The referees started to dish them out. But Atalanta's game today was very frustrating, the way that they were playing. You know, the way that they were trying to stop Milan from generating any attacks or chances, the way that they were breaking down the play, especially in the middle, is certainly a characteristic from this Atalanta team. And the way that they were wasting time in those last 5 to 10 minutes, I guess it's something that a team like Atalanta would do. Going to the San Siro, I think a point is more than good for them. But once again, if they're trying to achieve Europe with that mentality, I don't think they're going to achieve much. So once again, frustrating playing from Atalanta. Frustrating from the ref, that I think was probably one of the worst refs that I've seen all season round for Milan. So many times where he should have called fouls on Milan players and he simply didn't even look at that. He closed his eyes each and every time. There was an instance where Lapadula got fouled clearly. at the edge of the box, but the referee actually gave the foul the other way around for some reason. Very frustrating to watch the referee as well. Deschio and Abate were in a sort of an argument with him at the end of the match. Montella had to separate them to avoid suspensions. Of course, there's a big important match against Juventus in the Super Cup next week, so Montella doesn't want to lose those players, and rightfully so. But definitely the referee was poor, piss poor today. I honestly I don't know what type of match he was watching. I'm not saying that every call that he made was wrong, but more calls than not were really unbelievable today. What he called today on the pitch. Marco says, I agree with you about Suso and Lapadula. Certainly, we saw the worst of them from recent games. Recent games. Last game against Roma, it's not like we saw much from the team in general. We had a decent game defensively, but it's not like... Suso actually created a lot against Roma. Unfortunately, Niang and Lapadula weren't able to finish or put their foot on the ball there to even deflect in the back of the net. And Lapadula has been scoring a lot of goals recently, but it's kind of one of those matches. At least Bonaventura showed up, so it's not like both of our wings were not visible, So definitely, I think Suso and Lapadula had an off day. I'm pretty sure they're much better than that, like we have seen many times this season with those players. But definitely, I think they're better than that. Lizzie says, dude, I feel so frustrated. Same here, trust me. Nikesh, referee was the worst on the field. Aniket says, Bertolacci was about 6.5 on 10. Lost a few balls, recovered a few, but didn't seem to link up with others. He is better off playing more forward. I guess, but I really don't know where you would play him in terms of a formation of 4-3-3. He's not going to be playing as a winger. He's definitely not going to be playing as a striker. So I don't know exactly what you're suggesting with Bertolacci's position. But, the only reason why Bertolacci was really playing in this match, we all know it, was because Montella had to preserve Locatelli for the Super Cup. And he didn't want to risk Locatelli getting a yellow card, and then we will miss him for that important match. At this point, I'd rather him preserving Locatelli than risking him, So that's probably the main reason as to why Bertolacci was even playing today. And yes, many of you guys are saying that Montella was very frustrating with the substitutions, and I fully agree. The first substitution that he made there, Deschio for Antonelli, as soon as I saw that, I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't see the reason as to why he would sub in Deschio for Antonelli. The only reason as to why I could think of that is because Antonelli just came back from suspension injury, and he didn't have the full 90 minutes in his legs. That's the only reason I could see as to why Deschio came on today. Besides that, Bacca for Lapadula, Niang for Bonaventura. I could understand Bacca for Lapadula, but Niang for Bonaventura, I'm not too sure that was the smartest decision for Montella as well. Personally, I would have kept Bonaventura on the field, and instead of taking him off, I would have replaced Niang. I would have taken out Pasalic and put Niang in instead, so that Niang and Bonaventura were both going to be playing there on that left side, where Bonaventura would have shifted again to the midfield, and Niang as a left winger would have had more attacking options. Pasalic didn't have a good game. Didn't really know why he played the full 90 minutes today. But definitely these are little things, details that Montella has to look at, and he needs to improve in these substitutions, because some of them are really random. Like, I couldn't even find a better word than that. Just random substitutions, just throwing in players that you wouldn't even expect to be playing. And certain times, more times than not actually, the players that he does sub off are the players that are actually doing better. So I don't know why he would do that. We should have won the game today. Laura says, I wouldn't blame any of our players. We were unlucky. The ref wasn't good, and of course we were shit at finishing. I think we had a good performance, to be honest. As I said, we didn't play well in that first half, that's for sure. We had a few chances in those opening 10 to 15 minutes. But besides that, you know, in the first half, we didn't do anything. The second half was really where we came out. And I could understand. But we do need the full 90 minutes of intensity if we want to win games in the Serie A. It is a very, very tough league to win games. If you just start playing for 40 to 50 minutes in the game, it's not going to get you the result that you want. We were unlucky today. I fully agree with that. We were really unlucky. Our finishing wasn't good. We were wrongfully convicted in certain times by the referee. But these are definitely little things that change the result of games. Antonelli wasn't feeling well, Gio. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if he was feeling well or not. Maybe you heard a report there, but I could definitely understand why Antonelli got subbed off. I mean, he just came back from injury, you know. I wasn't expecting him to actually play the full 90 minutes there. Why is that cup final so important? It is a silverware. It is some silverware. Definitely an official trophy that Milan will want to win. It's not a friendly trophy or anything. It's something that we deserve to actually play in there since we made it all the way to the Coppa Italia final last season. So we do deserve to play in this final. And I think after many, many years, it's time that we win some silverware. Some official silverware, that is. Not any Trofeo Berlusconi thing. It's definitely important in that regard. And we're playing Juventus. Who doesn't want to beat Juventus? Maxi says, wow, it's wonderful that Milan's midfield truly depends on a young guy like Locatelli. It's a good thing. Unlike before when we need all experienced players. Well, to me, Bertolacci's okay. I personally think the league is more important than that cup. Well, it's only a one-game thing. Sure, the league is more important, but I mean, most players that played today were probably going to be starters that were going to feature in the cup anyways. It's not like we rested all those players. It's not like we rested Bonaventura, Suso, all the defense to preserve them for the cup final. We actually played a very solid starting 11 today. It's not like we came into that match thinking about the cup final and to keep players sane ahead of that match. We actually played a good starting 11 today. So I don't think that Montella was thinking about what is more important to his players. Gio, what do you think about Locatelli being rested? Once again, like I said, it's a decision that was made by Montella. Personally, I don't think it would have made a big difference if Locatelli played in this match or not. It's not like we were going to get 10 more chances to score goals. The chances came, guys. The chances came in today. We just weren't able to finalize. That's the thing. Guys, stop looking at Roma, Lazio, and Napoli are there right now. Exactly, guys. Honestly, let's focus on Milan. I know that they're behind us and that they could pass us with wins this weekend. But honestly, let's focus on our games. It's still a very long season. We need to get results in our favor. I understand that. But we need to focus on winning games on our own. We don't need to look at Lazio and Napoli until the last 5, 6, 7 weeks maybe. But it's too early, guys. I mean, we're not even halfway through in the season and we're already thinking about Napoli and Lazio being a point or two behind us. It's really not going to make a difference. What do I think about Papu Gomez? Very experienced player, fast, skillful, capable of creating damage. He's a good player. I'm not sure if it's what Milan need. I know that's the question you want to get at, but yeah, he's definitely a good player, but for a team like Atalanta, I don't think he deserves to play for a team like Milan. Mihalovic make Napoli drop points. That would be nice. Yeah, he could improve the squad in terms of depth, but I don't think he should be starting games if he comes at Milan nonetheless. Hopefully, yes, Roma does lose to Juventus. That'll be nice. I mean, right now, I'm not even thinking about Juventus. If Roma loses, that's very good because I know we're not going to win the Scudetto this year. But what we need to focus on is getting a second or third place finish. Jamie says the ref was either high, bought, or just always this shit. I vote for all three. Completely agree. finally, Dimitri saying, I think we are finally seeing the real tactic that Montella wants to see in this Milan: ball possession, creating chances, pressing high, and yeah, we can see all that in the last games. I guess I could partially agree with that. We are definitely creating more chances, like we've seen in that second half. The ball possession, however, needs to improve. We do see a lot of ball possession with Milan, but many times it's more passing back than actually creating plays or anything. And if you guys look at Milan's games, like we saw today, how many giveaways did we honestly do? The ball possession needs to improve. Way too many giveaways, way too many chances given to Atalanta today to hit us back and score on counters. But, you know, yeah, it's improving, creating chances, pressing high, ball possession, but we're still making way too many mistakes. This is going to be a very slow process, but I could definitely see Montella's hand on this team. Anika says we're not playing in the league next week. Where could we end up? We could end up possibly 5th or something, I think. But as I said, I'm not caring about that right now. What we need to focus on is our own games, take it game by game, win our games, and when there's 5-6 weeks, take a look at where we stand. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the match review of AC Milan against Atalanta. Once again guys, thank you all for joining me today. First of all, on the watch along, always nice to see so many people show up throughout the game, leaving your comments, giving your feedback on the players in real time. And also thank you very much for liking the videos, subscribing to the channel in order to stay updated with everything going on with AC Milan. Starting on Monday, the transfer dailies will be coming back on Rossoneri TV, as I'll be speaking about the latest transfer news and rumors going on at the club. So thank you all for watching. I'm gonna go watch Juventus Roma now. Hopefully Roma drops points, but I'll keep you guys updated in the next few days there with the transfer dailies. Once again, I'm expecting them to start on Monday. Thank you all once again. This has been Gio signing off, and as always, Forza Milan.